This is a pair of British Ferret armoured cars. Built after World War II, just over 4,400 were produced in total.
The Queensland Transport Museum is in the Lockyer Valley Cultural Centre in Gatton, about 30 minutes east of Toowoomba. There is ample parking on site. Upon entry into the large and airy foyer, one can see a lot of local displays and exhibits. Tickets for the museums can be purchased from reception. The cost was $19 for 2 adults and 1 child. To the left of the main entry are the library and art gallery. To the right of the main entry are the Colonial Café and the Transport Museum.
At the entry to the museum are 2 sets of large display cabinets that house memorabilia and miniatures. The museum is reasonably compact but has a lot of items and vehicles on display.
This is a gorgeous 1958 Mercedes-Benz L350 truck from Bell's Transport Company in Korea. I believe the company is still in operation.
This collection of beautiful yellow trucks used to belong to the Western Transport Company, started by the Anderson brothers in the 1930s. All appeared to be in immaculate condition. I especially like the 3 trucks stacked on top of one another.
This truck is a Bedford 1963 SL that used to belong to Qld Transport Company in Gatton. A familiar local site, in the 1970s it was mainly used to transport farm produce. Here is another view of the truck. It was beautifully restored. As you can see, it is a 10-wheeler.
We also came across this pair of beautiful looking Hawks and Nolan transport trucks. One is a Mack and the other is a Ford F600. The company was established in 1908 and is still going, stronger than ever today as Nolan's Interstate Transport. I love the light green main colour and the yellow trim. I also love the white tyre rims on the Ford truck.
This is a Mack AB model 1924 truck. It was the first combustion engine remover truck in Australia. It was owned by Thomas Mills and Sons and was used as a removal and storage truck. They were based in Rose Bay, a suburb in eastern Sydney, New South Wales. I love the old-fashioned turning indicator.
This is a deuce-and-a-half World War II transport truck made by GMC and Chevrolet. According to some sources, about 572,000 units were delivered between 1939 to 1945. Here you can see a large 150-litre fuel tank and the crew compartment.
Back to this pair of ferret. armored cars. The first one has a small turret with a machine gun. The second one has an open top with a pintle mount for a machine gun. Here is a view of the rear engine deck. These two have been restored to a beautiful condition with so many external storage added. This is a quick peek inside the crew compartment of the turreted model. Here is a closer look at the open top model. And a better look inside the crew compartment, which appears to be in an almost pristine condition. Ferrets were used in numerous conflicts after World War II, including the Cyprus and Malayan emergencies all the way to Ukraine in more recent times, if sources are correct.
This is an M4 half-track that was widely used in World War II. Part of the M2, M3 and M4 half-track family. I believe something in the order of 53,000 units were manufactured between 1939 to 1945 by Autocar, Diamond T and White Motor Company. Here we get a closer look at the track and running wheels that make this truck a half-track. This helped to greatly improve cross-country performance. I love the Australian and American flags painted on each side.
Here is another douche and a half truck. This one has a ring-mounted machine gun and a fully covered transport compartment. It was in immaculate shape. Behind the truck was the limbo and a British 25-pounder artillery gun.
This is a British Alvis Saracen armoured troop carrier. It came into service in 1952 and I believe is still being used by some countries. Just over 1,800 units were made. It had a crew of 2 and was able to carry up to 9 passengers. Armed with several machine guns, it was widely exported to many countries. This is the front view. There is a small turret with a machine gun at the top. Here you can see the 3 wheels on each side. I believe the Saracen was a 6x6. This is a quick look inside the passenger compartment.
I was delighted to see this fine example of a British universal carrier. This one had the normal front-mounted machine gun. Here is a look at the front crew compartment. In the rear are several ammunition boxes, store rifles, and opened engine compartment. This is another view of the forward-firing machine gun. And another look at the rear compartment.
This is a Ford Dingo armoured scout car. Built in Australia, about 245 were made between 1942 to 1945. It was usually armed with a single machine gun. Here is a peek at the crew compartment.
Also on display during our visit was this classic American Willys Jeep. Over 640,000 were manufactured and they were used in every theater of World War II that the US took part in.
This is a Chevrolet truck that was manufactured in Canada and used in North Africa against the Axis forces. Popular with long-range desert raiding parties, it was armed with several machine guns. I understand it is one of only 2 left in the world. Here is a quick look at the rear compartment. There are several spare machine guns and a row of jerry cans at the ready.
This is a Land Rover Perenti 6x6 troop carrier, also called a Bush Ranger. Procurement of the 4x4 and 6x6 versions by the ADF ran above 2,900 units. Here is a closer look at the rear passenger compartment. And right at the back are these storage racks.
This is a 6x6 Blitz truck from the Canadian military pattern range. A variety of models including 4x2, 4x4, 6x4 and 6x6 were made. Total production was in the order of 500,000 units. I understand about 2,700 of the 6x6 version were delivered between 1942 to 1944.
This is a 1948 Velocity LE 150 motorbike from Britain. It was popular with the police forces. It has a 150cc engine. I think the only instrument was the speedometer. You can see the fuel tank under the seat. I love the silver color.
Thanks for joining us in this video. I hope you found it enjoyable and informative.
I think the Queensland Transport Museum is definitely worth visiting. The air-conditioned Colonial Café is great for lunch or tea afterwards. The Gatton Village Market also runs on the first Sunday of each month. Fun for the whole family. See you in our next video. Bye!